a small village nestled among green hills and sparkling streams, there lived a boy named Eli. Eli was not like other children. He was born unable to speak. His silence was a mystery that neither his parents nor the village doctor could solve. Despite this, Eli was a bright, smiling boy who communicated through gestures and a notebook he always carried. The villagers, though kind, often overlooked Eli, not knowing how to interact with him. Eli didn't mind. He found solace in the forests and meadows, where he would spend hours watching the birds and listening to the rustle of leaves. One day, as Eli wandered through the forest, he found a small, abandoned chapel, its walls covered in ivy. Intrigued, he stepped inside. The chapel was empty except for a dusty old piano in the corner. Eli had never seen a piano before, but he was drawn to it. He sat down and hesitantly pressed a key. The sound it made echoed through the chapel, and a smile spread across Eli's face. Over the next few weeks, Eli returned to the chapel every day. He taught himself to play the piano, creating melodies that mirrored the sounds of the forest. His music was beautiful, full of emotion and depth. It was as if the piano allowed him to speak without words. One evening, as Eli played, an old man entered the chapel. He listened quietly, tears forming in his eyes as he heard Eli's music. When Eli stopped playing, the man approached him. "That was beautiful," the man said. "I've never heard anything like it. How did you learn to play like that?" Eli wrote in his notebook and showed it to the man. "The forest taught me," it read. The man smiled. "I'm the pastor of this village. I haven't come to this chapel in years, but tonight something drew me here. I believe it was a divine sign. Would you play for the village at the Sunday service?" Eli nodded, feeling a mix of excitement and nervousness. On Sunday, the villagers gathered in the church, curious about the pastor's announcement of a special performance. As Eli walked to the piano, there were murmurs of surprise. Many of them had never heard him make a sound. Eli began to play, and the room fell silent. His music filled the church, a melody that seemed to come from a place of deep understanding and peace. It spoke of the beauty of nature, the struggles of life, and the joy of simple moments. The villagers listened, captivated. When he finished, the church erupted in applause. Eli looked up, his eyes shining with happiness. For the first time, he felt truly seen and heard by his community. From that day on, Eli played at every church service. His music brought the villagers together, reminding them of the beauty and wonder in their world. They learned to communicate with Eli, discovering that there was much more to him than his silence. Eli's gift of music became a symbol of hope and unity in the village. People came from far and wide to hear the boy who spoke through melodies. Eli's life, once quiet and overlooked, was now filled with friendship and joy. Years later, as an old man, Eli sat by the same piano in the chapel. The keys were worn, and the paint had faded, but the piano still sang beautifully under his fingers. He smiled, thinking of the life he had lived. A life full of music and love. A life that spoke louder than words ever could. Eli knew then that his inability to speak was never a curse, but a gift that allowed him to discover the universal language of music, connecting hearts and souls. In the stillness of the chapel, he played one last melody, a thank you to the world that had embraced him, a farewell to the life he had loved. And as the last note echoed through the chapel, Eli closed his eyes, content in the knowledge that he had given the world the most precious gift he could. The gift of God, found in the beauty of music, uniting all in harmony and understanding.